What is up, everyone? It's Quinn here, and in this video I'm going to be going through some of the top buy low trade targets heading into week 9 of the fantasy football season. So I feel like these players are pretty close to the bottom in terms of where they're going to be valued rest of season. I think these guys maybe have struggled the past couple weeks, but I think they're really going to pick it up throughout the rest of the year. But let's just dive right into the first guy. We're going to start off here with Cooper Kupp. Now I will say that if Matthew Stafford is going to be out for a significant amount of time with that thumb injury, then I definitely cool off on, going out and buying Kupp. So this is going to be assuming that, Matthew Stafford's thumb is fine, and then I'd be interested in Cooper Kupp at this point. And I feel like he's a prime buy low. Over the past 2 weeks, Kupp has gone for 6.9 and 6.1 PPR points. If you drafted Cooper Kupp, especially with the injury, you expected him to miss, maybe 4, 5, 6 weeks, but then you expected him to come back and give you that crazy Cooper Kupp ceiling, right? Previous seasons, 20 plus points per game locked in, and he has not been that through 4 games back. The thing here with Cooper Kupp is that it's not like he's being underutilized. All of a sudden, the past 2 weeks, he's not super involved. The passing volume's low. He has not had a role change. He's actually been targeted 17 times over the last 2 weeks. It's actually pretty tough to be targeted 17 times and only score 13.1 PPR points. So it's really not a concern in terms of his volume. And we have to remember, Kupp was still a monster coming off of IR, so it's not like this is some sort of injury concern where he's not the same guy. His first 2 games off the injured reserve was 8 for 118, and then he went 7 for 148 and a touchdown. There are very few other wide receivers that I would not give up to bring in Cooper Kupp here. Some of the guys I'd be looking to potentially trade for him, I'd give up a guy like CeeDee Lamb, even coming off his monster game. Guys like Brandon Ayuk, Devontae Adams. I know Adams isn't really a buy low or a sell high at this point because he struggled, and I also think he's a decent buy, but maybe he balls out on Monday Night Football. These are going to be the only wide receivers that I view either ahead of Cooper Kupp or in the same range as him. So we have Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Keenan Allen. And then you throw Justin Jefferson in that mix. Do think he takes a hit with Kirk Cousins likely out for the year. And not saying that Justin Jefferson can't produce with a different quarterback, but are they still going to be competing? Are they going to be rushing Justin Jefferson back? So that's kind of up in the air. But you can see that list. There are very few wide receivers I would not give up to bring in Cooper Kupp. If someone thinks Kupp is slipping or they don't like this offense, they think Puka's too involved, I would be going out and bringing in Cooper Kupp if you can buy low on him. Now my next buy low is going to be T. Higgins, and there's no way around the fact that he has been a massive disappointment to start off the season. It's kind of weird. There was that pocket of wide receivers. It was like wide receiver 2s on their offenses. You had Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith, T. Higgins, and Waddle and Devonta Smith both had big games this past week, but it just kind of felt like all 3 of them had been pretty disappointing to start off the year. People were starting to panic, especially on Devonta Smith. He bounces back. So does Jalen Waddle. I feel like for T. Higgins in this rough start, it's very easy to kind of pinpoint where things have gone wrong so far. So you start off the season with an injured Joe Burrow, and the Bengals passing attack as a whole was just rough. So week 1, he has the goose egg game. Week 2, he actually has a monster performance, and then week 3 kind of falls back down to earth. And with Joe Burrow kind of hurt, we saw the Bengals really go, targeting heavy to Jamar Chase. T. Higgins is just not going to be that guy when they're locking in on one dude just trying to target funnel. So that kind of hurt T. Higgins early on in the season. Then he leaves early in week 4 with a rib fracture. He misses week 5. He returns in week 6, but is very limited. He plays less than 60% of the snaps, so not really even logging a real game in 2 of those. Yesterday, he was fine, 5 receptions for 69 yards, but still nothing crazy. In my opinion, T. Higgins is like a screaming clear buy low at this point. Burrow looks like he's 100% back. He went 28 of 32 for 283 yards and 3 passing touchdowns against the 49ers defense. If Burrow is back, I am very confident that T. Higgins is going to ball out throughout the rest of the season. We just have to look back at the last 2 seasons. T. Higgins has proven he is very, very talented. He was the wide receiver 13 in points per game in 2021. Then he was the wide receiver 19 in points per game in 2022, and then included him playing less than 20% of snaps in 2 games. So in terms of games where he was fully healthy, he was much closer, or might even have been like a top 12 wide receiver. So when healthy and Joe Burrow is good to go, T. Higgins is a fringe wide receiver 1. I feel like at this point you may be able to buy him at like a wide receiver 3 price tag just with how much he struggled. But T. Higgins is someone I'm very confident can turn it around. If Joe Burrow is good to go, like we saw this past week, I love buying low on T. Higgins here. Now this is pretty much going to be like a wide receiver buy low video. The next guy is going to be Nico Collins. He comes out, has a down game after the bye, 6 targets, 4 receptions for 30 yards. This was by far CJ Stroud's lowest passing volume game, actually by like over 50 yards in terms of his low. I still think Nico Collins is a nice option here. He should still be operating as their wide receiver 1, paired with CJ Stroud, who's already been very impressive as a rookie to start off the season. Stroud should continue to get better rest of season, and I feel like Nico Collins has had a little bit of underwhelming production over the last few weeks, combined with, the bye in there, and then the fact that he wasn't a super established name heading into the season. I feel like it opens up a nice buy low window for him. These are just some guys I'd be willing to give up at this point. Some people may disagree with this. Guys like Tyler Lockett, DeAndre Hopkins, I'm actually going to talk about as a sell high. Probably give up D-Hop, Gabe Davis. Now, obviously, you'd like to aim lower, guys like Gabe Davis in that range, but I am pretty high on Nico Collins rest of season, so I would give up guys like D-Hop or Tyler Lockett if it did come to it. And then my final buy low player is going to be Drake London. And it seems like we may have finally seen the transition from Desmond Ridder to Taylor Heinicke. It is possible that they end up pivoting back to Desmond Ridder for their next game, but still, at like the very least, he's going to be on a very, very short leash because they did opt to bench him for Taylor Heinicke in this game. And even though Taylor Heinicke's not some sort of like amazing real-life NFL quarterback, he has proven with his time with the Commanders that he can support his top weapons, and that is what I think Drake London is in this offense. We did see him leave early with a groin injury, but after the game he said he should be fine. So just like Cooper Kupp with Stafford, obviously only trade for London if it looks like his health is going to be good moving forward. So far, Drake London has proved that he is a very, very talented wide receiver. He just hasn't had the quarterback play to really take him to the next level. I think Taylor Heinicke could be that. He came in, he was solid, 12 for 21, 175 passing yards, and a touchdown. Drake London has actually been a very consistent option ever since like the first 3 weeks of the season. So over the last 5 games, he has scored 10 plus PPR points in all 5 of them, averaging 14 points per game over that stretch. And that's while only getting into the end zone 1 time. So it's not even like he's being carried by touchdowns. For me here with Drake London, I love the talent. I think he's now going to be getting the quarterback moving forward, and that's why I'd be going out trying to buy low on Drake London. So 4 wide receivers, I'd be interested in, just kind of poking around, seeing how the owner's feeling. Cooper Kupp, T. Higgins, Nico Collins, and Drake London. If you guys enjoyed the video, do me a huge favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll have my waiver wire targets up, and then also some sell high players. So check those out if you are interested. Thank you all for stopping by, and I will see you in the next one.